Well, I doubt. There wouldn't be 3 Hanzo questions that I would pick, right?
When Hanzo has the perk Sonic
Oh my
Disruption
God.
equipped. As the first episode of Are You Smarter Than a Plat Player, tell us a little bit about you. Do you think you're smarter than a Plat player? Let us know what your rank is. Let us know what role you play. And also shout out like your channel.
I graduated high school in 2015 and graduated college in 2019. And immediately when I was about to step foot out into the world, into the real world and get a job, COVID hit in 2020. So I didn't really have much time to look for a place to move out of my mom's house or get a real job. So I took it to YouTube, and there I decided to be an online philosopher and a teacher, professor, if you will. And I became a teacher, and now we're here. So I would like to think that I'm smarter than a Plat player.
Cool. All right, and then what do you play in Overwatch and what rank?
I am an Overwatch, I think currently Diamond player.
What's your
and
peak?
I play a lot of Lucio. Oh, my peak? Grandmaster, baby.
All right.
And that's what it's all about.
As a Grandmaster peak, would you say that, like, if you're not smarter than a Plat player, that'd be kind of embarrassing? Would you agree?
Yes, but I will be, so.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's get into how to play. How this is going to work, you are going to have 10 questions for the base game, and then finally the bonus question, which is going to prove that you are, in fact, smarter than a Plat player. You have 5 students here to help you, okay? You're going to pick a student to start with, and they're going to be with you for 2 questions, and then they're going to go back to the little waiting area, and you're going to pick a new student, and so on. So each of the 5 students will help you for 2 questions back to back, and you will be getting points for each question that you get correctly. So the first question will start with 2 unranked questions and a bronze question. So you can go for whatever one you want, whether you want some extra points and go for the bronze question. But it really just depends what category you want and subject and whatnot. There is going to be your leaderboard. So you, as the first creator for Are You Smarter Than a Plat Player, you're really setting the standard here. So you will be the first person on the leaderboard, and we'll see everybody after it if they can beat your score or if you're gonna stay on the top or whatever. And here are our subjects. So we put an Overwatch spin on all of the typical school subjects that you have. So math is gonna be like cooldowns, breakpoints, damage numbers, etc. Social studies will be Overwatch pop culture moments. So it could be anything from community moments to, you know, outrage on Twitter or like streamer lore, you know, stuff like that. The T of the community, if you will. English, we're gonna have voice line identification and spelling. Okay. Music will be map music, cinematic music, weapon sounds, footsteps, basically anything with your ears. All right. Geography is going to be map knowledge. All right. Pretty straightforward. Science is going to be ability interactions, how different abilities interact with each other, what it does, etc., etc. Reading will be all about lore. Art is going to be things like name the skin, find the real skin, anything that has to do with just skins in game for the most part. And then history, we have the actual game of Overwatch's history and development. Your 5 students here have all picked a subject that they feel the most confident in. Feel free when you're selecting your students to ask that. There is kind of strategy in picking your students. Like, for example, if for the harder questions later on, because you have to think as the game progresses, the questions get harder. So maybe if there's a student that's like, math is my strong suit, maybe you might want to save them for last, you know? On to the student selection. We have 3 categories here. We have uphill battle. Your students will be bronze through gold. So it'll be harder because theoretically, your students aren't going to be at as high of a rank as the other hero pools like platinum or the expected pool. However, you do get a 10% overall score bonus if you go with that pool. Then our just default is platinum. I mean, the show is called Are You Smarter Than a Plat Player? This is just the default Plat students. And then you have the expected, which will be diamond through champ students. So they probably would know what a breakpoint is, to be honest, unlike you and I. However, that does come at the trade-off of a slight point reduction for the whole show. So please let us know which students you would like.
I would rather get a question right with a little deduction of points, right?
All right.
It's better than just get it all wrong. So I'm going to do Diamond Champion
all right.
with a 10% reduction.
So you're going with the expected class. All right, cool.
Yes,
so
I am.
We have our expected students here. Cool. And then now we're on to our item selections. So you will have 2 items to pick from the screen. I see that face. I know it looks overwhelming. Okay, but I'm going to break it down for you, right?
I forget you can see my face.
In for sight. All right, you're gonna be able to basically just look at your student's answer. You don't have to go with what they pick, but you know, if you're feeling like, ooh, I'm kind of between these two, let me see what this student picked, you can use Inversight. All right. I do want to say that all of this has a cost. You have a starting balance of 200. Okay. So if you decide to go like Inversight and duplicate, for example, that's 180. That means that you have 20 left over. Okay. Anything you have left over will be added to your overall score. So if you wanted to kind of metagame this a little bit and go for like chat poll and recall or whatever, you'll have a lot more points added to your final score, which, you know, could really help. But yeah, so Inversight, you can look at your student's answer and then go from there, whatever you want to put. Chat poll, you will run obviously a chat poll in your Twitch chat. You do not have to pick what wins the poll, but it could help you out, you know, like it could help you kind of deduce what your chat's thinking, what you might get to pick, whatnot. But keep in mind that your chat can be douchebags and they can purposely answer the wrong thing, but they wouldn't do that to you.
That would be awful. They would. They would.
Wouldn't. I don't think they would. Surely not. But you know, hint, hint, that would make incredible content. Salty Fisher's Twitch chat. And then we have Recall, which is our phone a friend, the same as Winston's Recall when he phoned all the agents of Overwatch to come help him out. All right. That's what you're going to do today. But instead of the agents of Overwatch, it is one friend of your choice. If they do not answer, you are screwed. You still used your lifeline. So maybe if you want to send a quick text real quick to Too Bold or something to be like, yo, if I call you, pick up the fucking phone. So, you know, this one has a trade-off, but it's also pretty cheap. So it could be a good one to pick. And then finally, we have Duplicate. This one is similar to Inversight. However, you are going to copy the answer of your student. You do not get a say in it. So if your student picked A, you must pick A. If they pick C, you must pick C. As opposed to Inversight, where you just get to peek at their answer and you could choose what you want to do. And then if you look at the bottom of the screen, we have Resurrect. If you get an answer wrong and your student gets it right, you will automatically be resurrected for the first time that this happens. After that, you are on your own. There's only one resurrect per game, but if your student helps you out, you will be saved. All right. So you get to pick 2 of the 4 options at the top. You don't have to pick it now. You could kind of go with the flow wherever, you know, whenever you feel like it's fit. But as of right now, what are you kind of thinking?
Well, as of right now, I have no idea what the questions are going to be. I think a safe option, not knowing the questions, I know I don't have to do it now. A safe option would be get Inversight and Recall, right?
All right.
Because then I still have 50 points left over. Is chat poll literally cost 0? Is that right?
It's 0.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that at all. That doesn't really seem like it's worth it.
I mean, that's the trade-off. But like I said, surely your chat wouldn't screw you over. But if chat does troll you and get it wrong, what happens? You go on losing trend. Just like when you lose all your games in Overwatch and you get on a losing trend, same thing works here. If you get a question wrong without being resurrected, that will result in a losing trend. So losing trend applies to the following subsequent questions. The first question you get wrong, the amount of points you get after that will be minus 25%. Okay, it does not apply to the overall score. It's just like, you know, if you get the first one wrong, then every question after is minus 25%. But if you don't get a question wrong until like question 8, it's only really question 9 and 10 that have a minus 25% score. 2 questions wrong, all the following questions will be at minus 50% score. 3 questions wrong, you are suspended. Get out of the lobby. You are not smarter than a Plat player. If that happens, you will have to look at the camera and say, I am Salty Fish and I am not smarter than a Plat player. All right? And that's everything. We're ready to start. Do you have any questions?
No, but I'm scared.
Yeah, I think you should be.
I'll close my chat now.
All right. Wait, everybody in chat, say your goodbyes to Salty Fish and wish him luck because his reputation's on the line, man. He could possibly be proving that he's not smarter than a Plat player, and think of the trolling that you guys can do from now on forevermore. You could just go into his chat and say he's not smarter than a Plat player. That would be a banger. Or he could prove that he's incredibly smart and you'll never hear the end of it. So every 2 questions, you're gonna pick a new student and they're gonna hop up on there with you. And yeah. All right. So first and foremost, we're gonna pick your student. So we have 5 students for you to choose from. They are all between Diamond and Champion, but here's a little plot twist. I don't think we have any champs today. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. But yeah,
I'm
so
lied to.
Go ahead and pick a student if you want to kind of ask them some questions on what subjects they think they're good good at or whatever to kind of gauge it, you're fine. Just let's try to adhere towards the time limit, which by the way, I forgot to mention, you will have about 3 minutes per question and I will give you like a 1 minute heads up. Okay.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah. What are the questions again? I'm looking at the losing trend screen right now.
So for your first question, we have reading, which is a bronze difficulty for 200 points. We have music, which is unranked for 100 points. And we have art, which is unranked for 100 points. So do you want to play it safe or do you want to go for double the points with a bronze question, which might be a little risky, but it's also just a bronze question if you think about it.
What if I wanted to do reading and lore in bronze? Because I really do not think I would know the songs or the skins.
All right, let's lock it in then. So which student are you going with?
Who said they knew how to read the McDonald's menu?
That's me.
Yeah, give me Winter Duck. Get up here.
Oh no.
All right, Winter Duck, you're the first ever student chosen for Are You Smarter Than a Plat Player? How are you feeling?
Brings back trauma from high school.
So, reading is your first one. You ready, Fish?
No, but yeah.
Well, too bad. Which of the following did Cassidy not recruit into Overwatch? A, Zarya. B, Baptiste. C, Farah. Or D, Wrecking Ball? Student, go ahead and put your answer in the chat. And Fish, go ahead, talk us through this a little bit.
So these are from the later comics. I remember there was, I think, 3 or 4 of them put out. So I do remember the images, and you could see this group of Cassidy and the rest of them together in one of the PvE cinematics. So I am very confident in my answer going forward, because I know somebody who was just not recruited.
So you said that you are pretty confident that you know the answer to it. You want to go ahead and tell us what you think it is?
Yes, I believe the answer is D, Wrecking Ball.
All right, you're gonna lock that in?
I would like to lock in that answer.
Okay, your student also picked D, which could be very bad news if you both got it wrong. But you didn't. Congratulations, you got the very first easy question right on Are You Smarter Than a Plat Player? So you're not gonna be super embarrassed this episode, you know? It could have been worse.
Bring it
Congratulations.
on. Bring it on. That's what it's all about.
All right, cool. Going into our next one. It's okay, that was just for question 1 anyways. Going into our next one, we have question 2. We have science, which is bronze difficulty. We have math, which is unranked. And we have English, which is unranked. You want to take a few seconds to talk with your student and strategize? You're more than welcome to.
Okay, students, I would probably pick here science or English, okay? Who is confident? I might need to. I need a thing again. I got to see what science and English is again.
You want me to go back and show you?
I'm feeling most confident personally in math and science, but I heard you didn't prefer the math so much.
Yeah, that seems a little scary. Okay, so I'll keep you in mind, Winter Duck, for science. Okay, let me see what science and English are specifically again.
Yeah,
I remember
so
being confident about science.
Science is going to be ability interactions, and English is going to be like voice line identification, spelling, things like that.
Okay, got it.
So things that you find in like a book or English class, you know, things like that.
You know what? We got it right once. We can do it again. Let's do science for bronze.
All right. What does using Symmetra's photon projector beam on barriers do? A, it increases Symmetra's movement speed. B, it automatically starts the global healing passive. C, it increases the power of her next alternate fire. Or D, it regenerates her shield health.
You know what I hate about this? Is that I can never remember any of the legitimate names of any of the abilities or the passives or anything, okay?
It's a bronze question, Fish. You got this.
Symmetra,
I believe.
Definitely one of my least played characters ever, okay? I know it doesn't increase her movement speed, or else I would be upset about that. Beam on barriers do. It increases the power of her next alternate fire. See, but I thought it increased just the beam in general. It makes the beam stronger. I didn't know if it affected the alternate fire, but I guess that would make sense if it just makes the whole gun stronger. It definitely doesn't start the global healing passive and regenerate her shield health. Oh my god, does it? No, that would make her OP. Then she would need healing, right?
What are you thinking?
I always thought that it just affected her DPS.
So
what does it do on barriers?
So what are you leaning towards right now? C?
I'm leaning towards C. It increases the power of her next alternate fire.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and lock that in?
I would like to lock that in.
Salty Fish is locking in C. It increases the power of her next alternate fire. Salty Fish, you are wrong. But is your student right? Do you have faith in them?
Yes, any day of the week.
All right. Your student selected D. The correct answer is D. You have been resurrected, which is good news, but it's also bad news because it is question 2. And
Yeah,
you
that's
no
gone pretty
longer have
quickly.
resurrect for the entire game. However, you do have 2 lifelines left. You should be thanking
Damn,
your
that's-
student right now because you are not
Thank you.
in losing trend because of them.
Winter Duck, you saved my life. I should have taken this into account. Symmetra, I see them a good amount in the higher ranks, I feel. Or maybe
It actually
I
told
don't.
me on the McDonald's menu, so that was very helpful.
Yes, okay. I'll be sure to refer back to that if I ever need help. Okay.
So we are now on to question 3, which means it is time to select a new student. So say thank you to your current student. We will have Winter Duck head back to the area. But yeah, so question 3, just a little idea of what you have to go on with. You have history, social studies, and geography. So if you want to make your choice around that, you can. But yeah, go ahead. You have about a minute to kind of make your decision. Talk to them if you'd like.
Okay, anybody speak up right now if you know about history or social studies or geography.
Geography is probably my best.
Okay, Icy Owl for geography. Okay, that is the hardest one, but I'll keep that in mind. Anybody else? Nobody feels confident about history or social studies. Icy Owl, you know your maps, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, I'll take it. You know what? I'm gonna take Icy Owl.
So we have Icy Owl. How are you feeling about being the second student?
I think these questions should be pretty easy. I knew both of the last ones, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, you can't resurrect fish, but he can rely on you with the lifelines if need be. So salty fish, history, social studies, geography. What are we gonna pick?
Okay, Icy Owl, he sounded very confident, even though maybe a bit ashamed. It sounded confident in the map knowledge. So I think we're gonna go with geography.
Which of these maps does not have a jump pad? Runasapi, Throne of Anubis, Antarctic Peninsula, or Suravasa? I can't tell if that faces excitement or anxiousness. How are we feeling right now?
It's anxiousness. Okay. So, I gotta think about this. Throne of Anubis is the one that's not 2 CP, and I definitely can picture a jump pad on mid, so it's not B, okay? Antarctic Peninsula is the...
The one in Antarctica?
Yeah. I don't think it's
There's your free help for this game.
I think it's the King of the Hill map. I'm not correct. I think it's the newer one because the other winter one is Eco Point Antarctica. And I'm trying to think if there's any jump pads in the King of the Hill map. It does not have a jump pad, right? Okay, let me think. Let me picture it. I'm on ice. Are there jump pads? There's not one on that map. There's not one on that map. I can only picture 2 of the Antarctic Peninsula ones. And Runasapi, Suravasa, I can't even picture them. One of them is the flashpoint.
I fear you may be cooked.
No. One of those 2 is the big map, the giant map, and then one of them is the payload. No, the push map. And I think, oh my god, none of them have jump maps. Crystal, this is awful. Okay, I think I'm gonna use a lifeline here. What's available?
All right, so for your lifelines, we have Imprecite. That will cost you 100 of your $200 that you have. Keep in mind, anything left over will go towards your hero pool, or your leaderboard score. Imprecite will let you look at your student Icy Owl's answer, but you do not have to pick it if you don't want to. Chat poll is absolutely free. You could poll your chat, and you can go from there if you want to answer that one or not. We have Winston's Recall for 50, so one of our cheaper ones, and you can phone a friend. And then finally, we have Duplicate, which will cost you $80 out of your $200 pool. You will be forced to pick whatever answer your student picks.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna, you know what? Let's just be safe. Let's spend some money. All right? Yeah. And I know it's gonna affect my final score. Let's do the duplicate. Right?
Duplicate. All right, cool. So, yep, it will be copying the answer of your student. So you got to hope that they get it right. All right, you're going to lock in Duplicate. Keep in mind, you can only pick 2 lifelines for the whole game.
Yep, I'm chilling.
All right, and you can't do Duplicate again once you use it once. So
all right.
We're locking that in. All right, so your student answered D, Suravasa. Wow. How are you feeling about that?
Well, thank God, because I wasn't going to say Suravasa. Okay, I wasn't confident about any answer.
If you were going to pick, what would you have picked?
You know, it's unfortunate because I might be wrong about one of them being the 5-point maps and then the other one being the or no, not the 5-point maps, but where it's like 3 different King of the Hills at once, and then the other one is push. But I can't even picture like where there are jump pads on either of those maps. I know it's not Throne of Anubis. Well, I can picture them. I can't picture if there's jump pads on them, but I feel like that's just lack of knowledge of the whole maps because they're so big. So I'm gonna agree with my student.
Well, you have no choice. So your student picked
cool.
Suravasa. You did use your lifeline. And the answer is Suravasa.
Oh, thank God.
Your students, you are really paying off by
what
going
it's
with
about.
the expected hero
That's what it's
pool
about.
because your students are absolutely carrying you this game. All right, cool.
Yes,
So I think Icy Owl deserves a little thank you right there for saving your ass. We'll
Thank
move
you,
on
Icy Owl.
to
Let's keep up that
question
energy.
4.
I got you.
Keep it up there.
All right, cool. So you only have 1 lifeline left, and you are in question 4. So about halfway through, keeping in mind that you can't use a lifeline for the bonus question. So, all right, no resurrect and 1 lifeline left. So we have math, social studies, and music on the board. What are we gonna go with?
Okay, let me ask you that. Icy Owl is still with me, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you play with music on or off?
I play with music on, but it's pretty quiet.
Okay, as long as you can still hear it. Yeah, because social studies, math, it just seems a little scary. Definitely dipping into silver for social studies, which I wasn't very confident on. And the highest point that we can grab right now. What's your opinion on math? I think it would probably be...
Can you show me? Math is like breakpoints and stuff, right?
Cooldowns, breakpoints, damage numbers, etc. And some
For
actual
me-
math as well happening.
Oh, God.
It's probably social studies or math, but I only really know the esports side of social studies. I don't really keep up with the which streamers got canceled last week.
Yeah, and you know what's awful? I probably only know the very popular ones. And the question is, I feel like all the popular ones are done once you're in bronze. And then past that, it's kind of like niche knowledge in silver.
Well, you're only in silver right now, so it shouldn't be that
And
difficult.
that's what, 2 away from plat? You know?
But I mean, Salty Fish, you picked GM. Surely a silver question is light work.
ICL, would you hate me if I picked music?
No, I would probably know it.
Then let's do music.
Which ultimate plays this song? You heard it?
This is great. Yes, I did hear it. Okay, so my thought process is definitely not sound barrier, definitely not self-destruct, definitely not meteor strike. It's freaking Hanzo when he had that love, make love not war, Valentine's Day dating sim, and then it's the skin. Whenever he fires the dragon strike, it plays that. That's
It's your favorite character.
yeah, it's my favorite character. It's not. So I mean, I'm pretty confident. I'll lock in B immediately.
B?
Bars.
All right, cool. I'm just waiting for your student to lock in. So you picked B. The correct answer is B. That was pretty easy. All right.
Yes, it
You got
was.
that
Yes,
one
it
pretty
was.
quickly. All right.
It just feels great.
Yeah, you know a lot of the lore on your favorite character for sure. All right, moving on to question 5. It is time to pick a new student, so it is time to part ways with Icy Owl.
Thank you, Icy Owl. You're the GOAT.
I got you.
All right, cool. You have 3 students left to choose from.
Okay, and they're some smart students. I just know that looking at them. Okay, so Anonymous, Star Drummer, Chanel 1. What are we feeling with these? I don't want to go to history. I am very not confident in that. I think English and reading is more my taste. So if either of you guys feel confident in reading or English.
If Anonymous is not up for anything, then we can do either reading or English. Because these previous questions, I don't know. I've answered all of them correctly as well.
I would be pretty good at English, only for the sole reason is because I play this game collegiately, so I need to know more voice lines than the average person. However, with me being collegiate, I think I would also be helpful for like math and geography questions.
Okay.
Fish got so excited the way he lit up when he heard collegiate. He's like, oh, thank God, somebody competent.
And that was Anonymous who said you're good with the other subjects that aren't listed right now. So I think it would be smart to take Chanel 1. who said you're good with reading or English, right?
Well, if no one else is up to the questions, then sure. Also good in like arts and music.
Art and music. Well, we got the music one, so I'm feeling confident about that. Maybe we'll go music, maybe we won't. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Nobody's spoken. We're gonna go Chanel 1.
So Chanel will be with you for questions 5 and 6. Are you ready?
I am very ready.
All right. What subject are we picking for 5? We have reading, which is silver difficulty, history, which is gold difficulty, and English, which is silver difficulty.
Let's do some. I think we go with English.
How is Reinhardt's blank skin spelt? A, B, C, or D?
It can't be D, because too many people would make fun of that. Bunda is a whole nother culture word that I feel like people would clock that immediately. Okay?
Yeah. Just want to let you know, I know you have chat closed, but everybody's typing GG. I really hope you prove them wrong here.
Now the question is, I have to think about, are there a lot of words, German, so do words end in more in like A or ER? And I feel like U rather than OO seems more in a German language, okay? I can't see the skin or anything. I just have to go off of which one is.
Do you feel like you're cooked right now?
I might be. And the fact that I was going to go with asking chat, but the fact they're all saying GG, I think it has to either be A or B, okay? I'm going to guess, right? That just seems smart, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Why use your lifeline when you could just, take a shot in the dark?
Oh no. Okay. Am I allowed to talk to my student and ask them how confident they are about this?
I do not believe so.
I'm gonna guess. All right? I'm gonna guess A.
All right. So I personally would never recommend guessing in Are You Smarter Than a Plat player? But will Salty Fish end up proving me wrong? Let's see. Let's reveal what your student picked as well. Your student also picked A, so you're either both right or you're both wrong.
Come on.
The answer is not D.
Oh my god, why would you do that?
It is not C.
Oh my god.
And it is not after this ad break. I'm just kidding. It is A. It is A. Your gamble paid off and you are still in the running and you are not in losing trend. All right.
Okay.
How are you feeling about that one? Are you going to pick English ever again?
Maybe. I mean, I kind of just, that didn't really have to do with my knowledge of Reinhardt, more just like how I've seen German as a language that I don't know at all, so.
Well, we did say it could be, spelling of skins and everything like that, but all right, question 6. All right, so we have science difficulty gold for 550, art difficulty silver for 350, and geography difficulty silver for 350. What are we thinking? You can ask your student if you'd like.
What do we think? What subjects do we like here?
Honestly, like, I don't mind all of them.
Yeah, I like that we're going into this. But I am a little nervous about dipping into gold just yet, especially with science. What do you think of science?
I've got a lot of hours, so you can go off of that.
And science is like interaction.
You do have a lifeline left. Yep, ability interactions.
Okay. And art is that, and geography is maps.
I feel like
okay.
If you want to be safe, maybe geography. It's just
yeah, and geography kind of killed me last time though. Let's lock in
Go with your gut. What's your gut's telling you? Art?
Silver. I'm going silver.
All right.
Art silver.
Let's see if you regret this. Which skin is not called orchid? A, Symmetra skin, B, Lifeweaver skin, or C, Mercy skin?
That's so evil. That's so evil. Okay, so I totally believe the answer is not B, because orchid, much like Lifeweaver, trees, plants. Okay, now my next thing to guess is that I see that Symmetra has it's kind of low quality, which, of course, unfair for me, but it looks kind of like a butterfly. Now the question is, butterflies and orchids, are they similar enough? Which skin is not called orchid? So I can only use one more lifeline, even if it's the one that costs 0, right?
Yes, you can only use one more lifeline. But do you want to use it already on question 6, or do you want to save it for some of the harder ones?
I think I'm gonna save it, okay? Which means that I'm just going in blind. I have a 50-50 shot here because I'm pretty confident that it's not B, okay? Now, Symmetra and Mercy. Orchid, is that like, because that's not Lifeweaver's default skin. AKA, they'd probably go with a color that's very similar to that, which is pink, which almost makes me believe that it would not be Symmetra's because they're very similar. Okay, but you wouldn't make it that easy, would you? You wouldn't make it that easy, would you? I have no idea. I have no idea. What are Mercy's default skins even called? Because I don't even know what Symmetra's is. I'm gonna go, yeah, you know, I'm gonna go with Mercy. My final answer is C, Mercy.
All right. I will let you know that your student is wrong. Your student picked C, Mercy, which means you were both wrong. Which means
I knew it was too easy.
Welcome to losing trend. From here on out, you are getting a negative 25% score for all future questions that you get correct. So, but you
Symmetra,
still have a
wasn't it?
lifeline left. Yes, it was Symmetra. That skin is called Butterfly.
Oh, it's so obvious.
What could have given it away? Who would have known, honestly?
Oh, that's so evil. That's so evil.
All right. Well, I think Chanel, your time is up. We are moving on to our next question. So we have two
Chanel, you're still the
students
goat.
left to choose from.
Okay, reading, music, and science. My two left. I have Anonymous and Star Drummer. It was Anonymous. You said that you were good for which subjects again?
Primarily geography, maybe math. It's been a while with damage numbers, but if there's a category with music, Star did say it would be generational fumble.
And Star Drummer, since those weren't listed from what we have the questions right now, how do you feel about reading, music, and science?
Music.
Oh, you feel good about music. Okay.
Music.
Okay, just saying music.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Music.
Okay, and of course that's the hardest one that we have. What about reading or science? Does that strike your fancy?
You know, science would be a little bit of a challenge. Reading, I don't know too much of the in-depth detail stuff, but I know enough to like tell somebody who doesn't know about Overwatch in like basically the full picture. So, I mean, when it gets into the details, I sort of fumble there with reading, but I am the most confident in music.
Okay, and you just earn your spot as my student for these next two rounds. Get up here and aid me. You're gonna be the reason that we win this whole thing, just like everyone else is.
So you got your student ready to go. Student, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
All right, cool. So, Salty Fish, we have 3 questions. We have reading, music, and science, with music being our Plat question. How are you feeling?
So Plat is the hardest difficulty, but at the end of the day, music is music. I play with music on all the time because I don't want to use, I'm too lazy to set up, you know, Spotify playlists that you can't hear on stream, but you can hear while you're live streaming during the stream.
So you just raw dog it with the in-game music is what you're saying?
I do a lot of the time, but I know it's going to be some map that I just never play on, or just like one of the newer maps. Let's do music.
All right, question 7. We are running it with music for 800 points. Which map features a boombox that plays this music? Star Drummer is already locking in their answer.
Wow, okay. So I don't think that it is Havana or Dorado. I just think those are wrong. I never know how to pronounce B, but I know it's Lucio's map. There's that whole DJ club at the end of the map, and then Castillo has a boombox in the wall, and it's like if you go near there, you can hear it. So it's definitely between A and B. The student has already locked in the answer. Is it that obvious? Can I hear it again? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't help at all. I know it's like in that Lucio feel, but I don't know if it plays the end of Paraiso or Castillo, and they both end in O's. This is so evil. I probably shouldn't 50-50 this. Castillo A, final answer.
Final answer. All right. It's really a shame that this music is so Lucio coded and you didn't pick the Lucio map. But maybe that's for the best because it was A.
Oh my God, yes.
Castillo.
Right.
Yes. We
And
are
your
there.
student also got it correct.
Yes.
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 Good job. How confident were you in that? Or did you really just take a shot in the dark?
It really felt, I knew it was between those two, and I just could not remember what music for the life of me plays. I know that, because we had that rap battle that you hosted, and you told us to stand on that area of the map because there's music that plays, and I was like, holy crap, there's music that plays here? And I remember being like, it's so Lucio coded.
So being on
then-
a future ChristalRaine game show carried your current ChristalRaine game show is what you're saying.
Yes, it did.
Question 8. We have history for gold difficulty, English, which is another platinum question, and then we have art, which is gold difficulty as well. What are you gonna pick?
We kind of dropped the ball on art. Star Drummer, how are you feeling on between English and art?
I know English is definitely gonna be the hardest one. I mean, not only is it Plat, but that's also incredibly difficult. There are so many skins, so many voice lines. And the new voice lines I have little to no knowledge of. The old voice lines, I mean, I could finish them, but...
I don't think you've done any history questions so far. You
Yeah,
kind of scared of the
for good
history?
reason. I am
Yeah?
very scared of the history. Wait, why? What do you feel about history, Star Drummer?
What is that about? I don't remember that one.
It's the history of like Overwatch as a whole, like the game, the development, things like
Oh.
that.
I mean, I've been around for a long time, so I feel like I have a pretty comfortable knowledge of that.
Yeah, Salty
Yeah.
Fish, you have too.
I have, but I just don't. It's been so long that it would probably be difficult to remember when exactly something happened. You know, so I think it's safe to say that it's between English and art. Okay, right?
Yep, English is going to be your voice line identification and spelling, and then art is going to be name the skin, find the real skin, etc.
Okay, and Star Drummer, you knew music. That was that, and therefore voice line identification.
Well, let's.
You know.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, surely I won't mess up 2 arts in a row, right?
I don't know.
Let's
We'll
go
see. You want to
with-
go ahead and lock it in?
I would like to lock in.
All right. Art it is. Which of these skins is not real? A,
God.
B, C, or D?
Oh God.
Your student has already locked in their answer.
So I'm gonna say A and B are wrong. It can't be A or B. So this is another classic 50-50. Now the question is, if I really just get in there, let me just,
Yeah.
what can I notice about these?
That's the ChristalRaine strat. It does not pay off. Our graphic designers are insane. I tried the same thing on the pilot episode. It did not help, but you're welcome to go ahead and try.
What just looks like it doesn't belong? I feel like now I'm questioning if B is real. I know A is real. And I feel like now that I'm looking at it, D might be real too. But have I ever seen B? Have I? It has to be between B or
How
C.
do you not know about your favorite hero? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up that I've had 2 Hanzo questions and I just don't play this character. I literally have, he's one of my least played characters. Have I seen, how are there this many reskins in the game? Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's
Overwatch
messed
is
up. to
known
begin with.
for.
This is messed up. That means that there's 3 recolors of this one skin? Dude,
You have
it's-
a little over a minute left.
Okay. Star Drummer, you already locked in your answer. You know what? I'm gonna use not a recall, but the
You want a reminder of your shop items? You have Infosight, Chat Pull, and Recall left.
I think we're this deep into the game. I'm gonna Infosight.
All right, Infosight. So you are able to have a look at your student's answer. You do not have to pick it if you don't want to, but are you sure you want to go with Infosight because that is the most expensive lifeline?
Yeah.
All right. So Star Drummer selected C.
Okay, and I don't have to pick that. However, I was thinking C from the very beginning. I feel like that was my gut answer, so we're gonna go with C as well. That's my final answer, C.
All right. And the answer is, in fact, C. So it
Yes.
did pay off that
Yes.
you used your lifeline there. All right.
Star
but
Drummer,
Star
you're
Drummer,
amazing.
Your reign is at an end now. We're gonna have you go back to the student section. And you only have one student left, Fish. Here he
Yep.
is. Go
Welcome,
ahead.
welcome. Sorry for my pea brain here, but didn't you say you knew a lot about geography?
I do in fact know quite a bit.
Well, I guess at this point, it doesn't really,
I would
Doesn't
know
really matter.
geography more than math.
And social studies?
Yeah.
I think I would too.
Man, it hurts my heart when nobody picks social studies. That's my favorite one.
Nope, I don't trust myself with that one. I'm gonna
I
stick
don't
to the
screw up
in-game
Twitter.
stuff. Let's go with geography.
All right, geography for 800. Which of the following is a flashpoint map from New Junk City and not Surabasa? Is it A, ruins, B, refinery, C, market, or D, palace?
Wait, which of the following is a flashpoint from New York and not Saravasa? Okay, Market and Palace are definitely Saravasa coded, but are there really ruins in New Junk City? So this is asking which is in New Junk City. Okay.
Yes, and not Surabasa.
Why does it feel like I can hear the announcer lady saying refinery, but I can't hear her saying ruins? Where are ruins? Ruins just seems like it could apply to so many other maps. Are there ruins in Saravasa? Which of the following is a flashpoint from New Junk City and not Saravasa? New Junk City, there would have to be like a refinery in there, right? They'd be making all of these gadgets and gizmos. So, and I can't ask for help at all, right?
You've unfortunately used all your lifelines, and Resurrect is no longer available. And to make things worse, you have about a minute and 30 seconds left to answer.
Okay. Ruins. Ruins it just feels so much more ancient. Like New Junk City, the ruins could be like somebody's middle class home, if anything. So I'm gonna lock in my gut, and my gut won't lead me astray. I'm gonna guess B, refinery. Final answer.
All right. Anonymous also picked B. Not that it matters because you don't have Resurrect.
Yep.
But I'm sorry to inform you, you are correct.
Yes!
Because I was
Yes!
praying on your downfall. So, you are correct with that one. All right, so we're moving on to our final question. Question 10. However, if you get this right, it does not mean you are smarter than a Plat player. If you get this right, that means we have our bonus question, and that is what proves that you are in fact smarter than a Plat player. This question is just going to prove that you're about as smart as a Plat player, but we don't want that. Mr. GM
don't
Peak.
want
We want to prove that you're smarter than a Plat player. So, question 10. We have science, reading, and history on the board.
That there's just lore that I definitely haven't kept up with all the comics. I know there's like at least 3 that I haven't even skimmed through, if anything, that have come out in the past few years. I'm not gonna go with history. I think it's gonna be between science and reading. And science is just interactions, but it's probably gonna be some character that I just never play. Someone that like nobody plays. Some niche pick. Someone who's like, who's a, oh God, this is difficult.
I've
This
heard
is
Hanzo
difficult.
is pretty rare to be seen.
Well, I doubt. There wouldn't be 3 Hanzo questions that I would pick, right? There might even be more, but I doubt that I run into 3 of them, right?
That's true.
Okay.
What are the
What is reading
chances?
again?
Reading is in-game lore.
And science is interactions with abilities. Okay. Let's go with science.
All right, science. The jokes write themselves, truly. When Hanzo has the perk Sonic Disruption equipped and shoots a sonic arrow at a health pack that has already been hacked by an ally Sombra, what occurs?
What does that do?
A,
What does
the
that
health
do?
pack always remains hacked by Sombra. B, the health pack hack is always overridden by Hanzo. C, both hacks apply at the same time. Or D, the health pack remains hacked by Sombra unless it has less than the duration of Hanzo's hack remaining on its timer, then it is overridden by Hanzo.
You know what? I remember hearing about this. I think Questron told me that somebody else has some sort of hack health pack perk. And I just remember seeing, wow, that's really random. But when Hanzo has the perk Sonic Disruption equipped and shoots a sonic arrow at a health pack that already has been hacked by an ally Sombra, what occurs? The health pack always remains hacked by Sombra. The health pack hack is always overridden. Both hacks apply at the same time. What does that even mean, both hacks apply at the same time? The health pack remains hacked by Sombra unless it is less than the duration of Hanzo's hack remaining on its timer, then it is overridden by Hanzo. I don't even know what any of these questions mean, first of all.
You have about a little over a minute left.
Okay. The health pack is always overridden by Hanzo. This is messed up, first of all. The health pack always remains hacked by Sombra. The health pack is always overridden by Hanzo. Both hacks apply at the same time.
What's your thought process here? Any process of elimination with 50 seconds
Not
remaining?
really, honestly.
What's your gut telling you?
say-
What would make sense? If you're a game dev, what would you have happen?
Because when you hack a thing as Sombra that's already hacked as yourself, it brings the cooldown back up. Unless it has less than the duration of Hanzo's hack. I don't even know what that means. It's either B or C. It has to either be B or C. What's our time check?
You have 24 seconds.
Okay. The health pack remains hacked by Sombra unless it has less than the duration of Hanzo's hack remaining on its timer. I'm going to say B. Final answer. B, final answer.
All right, and
The health pack.
with the buzzer beater, B, the health pack hack is always overridden by Hanzo. How confident are you on this one?
Not at all.
So let me just
I
ask you a
kind of-
question here. Would it
Yep.
make sense that Hanzo with the perk would override the hacking character's hack? If that's like kind of what her whole kit is around?
Well, if it's your ally, then I think if anything, you would just be able to re-up it. That's because that's what I was saying. When a Sombra hacks a health pack that's already been hacked, I'm pretty sure it just resets the timer that it's hacked. So I'd imagine that Hanzo just resets that timer.
The girl math is mathing because it is in fact B.
Holy crap! Let's go, dude. Oh
right.
yes.
So
I'm backing,
You-
I'm backing Salty here. That question is insanity.
yeah, your student did get it wrong. They picked a D.
Oh my god. Yeah, yo, shout out Questron for that one. I think he was the one that told me first about that Hanzo could even do that with a perk. I didn't even know that before then.
So we have our final bonus question. Anonymous cannot help you with this one, but they couldn't help you anyways because you used all your lifelines. So
Yep.
you are on your own for this one. Salty Fish, it all comes down to our bonus question. All right, our diamond level questions. This is
Diamond?
to prove, are you smarter than a Plat player? Or are you just as smart as one? If you get this wrong, you're going to look at the camera and say, I am Salty Fish and I am not smarter than a Plat player. However,
I can't say
if you get it
I'm
right,
as
nope. If you get it right, then you can gloat, you can celebrate, you can say, haha, shitters, I'm smarter than you, whatever you feel fit. We'll get there and cross that bridge once we get there, if you get this right. So we have math, geography, and science. What are we going with?
So definitely not math. Let's back up away from there, okay? And geography is kind of, it's gonna be some, enough of this Suravasa. I don't even know which one Suravasa is, frankly. So it wouldn't do Suravasa for 3 questions, but last time I said that, I ended up getting 3 Hanzo questions. It's just the weird maps that I can't even picture them.
How are you feeling about
'Kay.
math?
I'm not feeling good about math. I
All right,
don't
so
want to
then
use
it's
math
really
at all.
just between science and geography.
Yeah, and therefore, I totally forgot about perks just being a thing. I think the best option is to go with science. Let's do
All
science.
right. So, Salty Fish, I have a great reveal for you. There's no multiple choice for the bonus
Oh,
questions.
what? What?
So are you sure you want to go with science?
Okay, let me think about that.
I probably should
would
have
mean
said
that
at the start.
Yeah, that would mean that I'd have to, like, name a map. You know, like, straight up name a map. And I don't feel confident about that. But with science, what is even science again? Remind me?
Science is ability interactions.
Ability interactions, huh? And that would mean I'd have to name a freaking ability. Oh, man. Okay, you know, I feel better about geography, actually. Okay, yeah, let's do geography.
All right, geography. From April 25th to May 8th of 2023, Overwatch released a new map which would never be seen again. What was the name of this map?
Okay, so this was recent. Overwatch released a map which would never be seen again. It was only for... Oh, that is a very short time period. I had to have been playing during this time. Overwatch released a new map which would have never been seen from again. What was that map? It's the underwater map. The one with all the jump pads. I can remember now. Okay. I'm locking in. But what is the name of that map? Is it? Okay, ready? I'm gonna lock this in. It was Atlantis.
All right, Atlantis. Can you spell that for me?
Atlantis. And I remember because we played on it at the with a bunch of streamers, and we tried farming the high noon clip.
Yeah.
And it was
we
definitely
did.
Atlantis.
Yep.
It had to have been.
Yep.
Right?
How confident are you?
I'm like 90% confident that
Right.
I know it.
Well, Fish, your geography is on point, but your spelling is not. You are incorrect. The answer is Talantis. Talantis.
Oh my god, it wasn't Atlantis. Oh, it would have a weird freaking name.
Salty Fish.
I had it.
You know what to do.
Hello, viewers watching home, not at home, far and wide. Today I learned a lot about myself, and one of the big things that I learned today is that I am not smarter than a Plat player.
All right. But you did rack up some points, though. Your score is at 3,417.5. That 0.5 is really going to be the tiebreaker right here. All right, you're the only one on the board, which means you're actually the first on the leaderboard. Big day, big day, number one. All right, cool. Well, Salty Fish, you may not have been smarter than a Plat player, but you were the first to ever be on this game show. So that's something to write home about, I think. And
I think it says a lot that I made it to the end, because a world exists where you don't make it to the end. Is that how it works or no?
Yeah, if you're on losing trend and you get 3 wrong, then yeah, you would not make it to the end.
Then that's great. I feel good about that. Yep. Amazing.
To the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I play easy mode and I play to win. I love to die and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You